Hello everybody and welcome back to NCAA 2005, and we are here at the very end of our Idaho Vandals season, regular season at least. Obviously, hopefully we'll have another bowl game. I've checked over the bowl rankings, and we're not listed, or the projections, not the rankings, and we're not projected anywhere but being ranked 29th in the country and also having 7 wins, all of which FBS wins, of course. We obviously will get an invitation somewhere. It's just in the bowl projections, it's not telling us exactly where right now, so I guess we need to see how things kind of lay in the rest of college football before we know where we're going. But ideally, we are going to be playing another game after this one. But this is our final game of year number 7 against the Kent State Golden Flashes out of the MAC, and Kent State has become kind of infamous in real life, recent history for reasons, of course, but back in this time, I mean, they're still just as bad. They're historically a bad program, always kind of have been, but funnily enough, I thought it'd be fun to play them, and I didn't realize until like a few episodes into year number 7 that I forgot to schedule Boise State. So I guess the rivalry's taking a year off, which in real life it never did. But in this, we're going to take a year off, I guess, and then we'll go back to playing Boise next season. I just kind of wanted to play some different opponents and see some different faces. Hence why I picked Kent State. So hopefully you guys are okay with not seeing Boise this season. We will meet them again next year, and we probably won't be able to beat them if these current sanctions continue to hamper how we build our team and progress. But it looks like we're still able to at least match a little bit of our production from last year. We're en route to having another 8-win season if we can win it today, which is not a guarantee. But Roderick Williams is already helping us out on that front here with a nice punt return to get inside the 25 of Kent State. And Roger Williams has had a few nice plays as punt returner, so it's nice to see him continue to do that. And now with the football on the pitch here inside the 10 and now inside the 5, is it Keith Bridges? Is it Marcus Donnelly? No, it's not. It is C.R. Madison. It's C.R. Madison. So Marcus Donnelly has a season-ending injury, apparently. At some point that happened. And Keith Bridges is also injured for this game. He's only injured for a week. So if we do play a bowl game, we will have Keith Bridges again. But right now, we're going into this game with third-string running back C.R. Madison. And he just got himself a touchdown. His second touchdown, I think, in his career. I think he only has 75 yards and a touchdown in this game, or heading into this game, and he's got himself another touchdown. So that's all that would happen in the first quarter. Kent State's offense doing absolutely nothing. But they are starting off the second quarter, moving close to about midfield, and Kent State's quarterback's going to get absolutely clobbered as he lets go of it. Adrian Newsom is going to get hit as he throws, but that pass is going to be completed in the snow. And I haven't even mentioned the snow yet, but we're playing in the snow, playing in the elements, man. I think this is only the second snow game I've ever had on the channel. I think in the Bengals series there was a snow game in New England, but we need more snow on the channel. But what we don't need is more injuries. And Jeff Williams, our star linebacker, is injured, but he would return. He would be all right. More or less, he would come back. So but Kent State is stopped on a third down. They're going to bring out the kicking team, and yeah, dude, they chose to go for like a 35-yarder with the kicker with like 20 power. I'm guessing all the elements has something to do with this as well, but that kick didn't have a prayer. It barely even left the ground. So, but here we have another huge play from Roderick Williams off to the races, leading a caravan, and he's in the end zone for an Idaho touchdown as Chester continues to add some more numbers onto his already very charmed junior season as a full-time starter of the Idaho Vandals. We've definitely questioned a lot of it here, and Roderick Williams, man, there's a lot to talk about statistically here, because Roderick Williams is having a huge down year. His yardage is about half from last year. He had over 1,000 yards by the end of the season, and it looks like he might only finish with about 600 or 700 in this year if we do play another bowl game, because he's heading into this game with less than 600 yards, and that is just his 6th touchdown of the season. He had 12 last year, and that is just only his 6th of the year, and now Kent State's offense is moving the opposite direction as Newsom is able to get this pass off to one of the Kent State receivers. I couldn't exactly see what number it was. We might see it on the replay, and it looks like it was the tight end, Torrey Larson, so the sophomore tight end, who's going to get a completion here. And now Kent State with another chance on offense on 1st and 10. Newsom's going to hand this one off to the running back, Quincy Jackson. He's a junior. He's also a first-team All-American in the MAC. And he gets himself a nice little boost on offense for the Golden Flashes, a nice little run play that'll get him close to the line to gain. And now we fast forward to a 2nd and 10 here. Newson's going to go back. He's going to fake the handoff here to Jackson. He's going to throw it across the middle, and that pass is going to be intercepted now heading the other way. And just like that, all the forward momentum that Kent State had, it has now just been completely undone as Jeff Williams, back from his brief little injury, gets himself an interception. So you cannot keep him down long. Our defensive captain is back, showing some strong form. And now Rochester floats one up here to Trey Mosley, who's going to haul that one in. And Trey Mosley's having himself a decent year with over 800 yards. But still, we haven't really seen a ton of lights-out production from a lot of our receiving core, which is interesting because Rochester, again, as I said earlier, is having a pretty darn good season. He's thrown for over 3,500 yards and just stat padding right now in this game, hopefully, as he hits Trey Mosley for another completion. And we might get Mosley up to 1,000 yards if we do play another game. It is possible, but that'd be the only shot we have at getting a 1,000-yard receiver on this team, as both Andy Matthews and Roderick Williams are kind of a far shot away from it. So first and goal from the 9, Chester going to fake the pitch and then go right back to Mosley in the corner of the end zone, and that is touchdown number 6 for Mosley on the year, as just a few plays, bing, bang, boom to 81 is going to get us in the end zone for another Vandals touchdown. And this kind of command of the offense is something that we've really been lacking in a lot of our big conference games this year from Rochester, but in these low pressure intense situations, he's kind of really flexing that muscle. So 21-0 is the score here late in the first half, but Kent State will not be silenced as Newsom just throws up a prayer of a ball to Neil Wilson, Kent State's top receiver. He's a senior, and there you can see some of his numbers on the year, just in his career. But he's, not having as good of a year. He's only ever had 653 yards. Like, that's his most in a season. That's his big benchmark in terms of production. But he's having a decent year this year, and he gets a nice completion there. But on the next play, Newsom's going to get clobbered in the backfield and fumble the football. And Jeff Williams, man, gets through the quarterback. And, man, I don't know what happened to that injury earlier in the game, but he is feeling good, man. They must have given him that shot of adrenaline, like in Blitz the League 2. You give that shot to your players on the sideline. That must have been what happened to Jeff Williams. But Kent State goes for another field goal, and it's going absolutely nowhere. I mean, that honestly looks like a receiver. I wonder if Kent State doesn't even have a kicker, if they just have a receiver who's kicking. That would make a ton of sense, actually. But and now this is Andy Matthews getting loose here. Can you believe that? It's Andy Matthews on a 59-yard touchdown run. I was focused on the fact that Kent State might not have a kicker here, but Andy Matthews out of the backfield is going to line up at running back, I believe, because he is the 4th listed running back on the depth chart. So if for whatever reason we're not running Sierra Madison, or the starting back in whatever set that we're using, Andy Matthews would be the running back to line up there, and he gets himself a 59-yard rushing touchdown to extend the lead 20-0 here in the second half. We now begin in Chester across the middle, and I believe it's going to be Bam Blanks who he hits, or it might have been Doug Nolan. I didn't get a good look at the numbers, but either way, it's a nice completion that's going to get the Vandals moving on offense once again, continuing that forward momentum here as Kent State's defense has really struggled to silence a lot of us. And it was Roderick Williams. I'm a fool. It's not Bam Blanks, and it's not Doug Nolan. It was Roderick Williams. So here at about midfield, Chester going to dump this one off in the flat, and Kent State's defender is kind of lost out there, but Roderick Williams fumbles the football inbounds somehow. It's going to get recovered by Kent State and then fumbled again out of bounds. So Kent State does maintain possession for a second inbounds. We're going to get a better look at this. So, or actually, it was Sierra Madison who fumbled it. So Sierra Madison out of the flat makes the catch, fumbles it on the initial tackle, and then that the fumble is recovered and then carried out of bounds. So, but Kent State can't do anything with the football, so we're going to get it back just about where we had it. And Sierra Madison gets himself a nice little pickup to get a first down for the Vandals. He's starting to carve himself out a nice little game here, barring the fumble, of course. Just ignore that. But Chester back to pass here. Deep shot down the sideline. That pass is going to be caught by Roderick Williams. Kind of a dangerous catch here as he gets kind of spun out. And Roderick Williams is having himself a career day, probably his best game of the season. And that's, he's trying to get back to where he was last year. But on the very next play, we're going to hit Trey Mosley once again for touchdown number 7 for Mosley. And he's just been such an effective receiver in this system here. And I don't know what the future holds for somebody like Mosley on this roster. He is only a sophomore, so presumably we will have him, taking over that role here in receiver 2 of what Roderick Williams did last year. It's kind of really shaken up how we're using our guys. So back on offense once again, now it's Andy Matthews with another nice completion to get us inside the 35, and it's been all Idaho in this game here as Kent State has really, really struggled to find any sort of momentum on offense. that's led to points anyway. And now Sierra Madison back on the ground here, going to carve back towards the middle of the field and get a first down. And another great pickup for Madison. He's already up to 74 yards on the day. So one opportunity to start for Sierra Madison. He's absolutely seizing it. And he's another picture or part of this roster that will remain on it for the foreseeable future. So we don't have to worry about Sierra Madison getting any worse or leaving us. As Roderick Williams finally gets himself a touchdown in this game here. It's touchdown number I think 6 or 7. I think it's 7 because he did score earlier in the game. So I think it's touchdown number 7 for Roderick Williams as he makes a catch here in a whole web of Kent State defenders. I mean, look at that. Chester, you see the throw came out before he even hit the top of that route, and Chester just kind of really trusted in it. That's why he made that confident throw. And the third quarter comes to a close, leading 42-0. And now the only thing we're showing in this play here is Sierra Madison gets a completion here, and Doug Nolan on the block is going to injure his shoulder. And so now, hold on here, because we have a situation right here in the fourth quarter with Doug Nolan. We have mostly backups in, but our roster isn't that deep. So Doug Nolan's still in the field, and he broke his shoulder blade, and he's out for the year. He's out for the remainder of the year. So our fan favorite players, I've now declared Doug Nolan with only 3 touchdowns on the season. One of my favorite players on this roster for whatever reason. He's just that favorite mediocre player on your team. He's out for the year. He's out for the remainder of the year, and his season's going to be cut short here, unfortunately, for Doug Nolan. He's a junior, so I would imagine we'd probably see him for his senior season. That's probably our only hope in the receiving corps is that he comes back for a senior season, but unfortunate turning of events here for Doug Nolan, and nothing else would happen in the game here. No one else would score anything. Everyone would just kind of be padding some stats. Again, as I said, we had backups in for pretty much all the fourth quarter, so not much really to show at all in that game here. As Ross Chester has himself probably one of his best games of the year. He's had a few pretty decent games. Like I said, it's a good season, man. I'll take 3,500 yards, 33 touchdowns to 13 interceptions as well. That was heading into this game, you know what I mean? So after this game, that obviously has changed a little bit, and he's protected the football a lot better than I thought. 13 picks, I feel like we've watched most of them, so maybe that's why it feels like more, but he adds 4 touchdowns to get to 37, and a quarterback with 40 touchdowns on this Idaho team would absolutely blow my mind, man, blow my mind. I don't exactly remember where Matt Norwood was. I wanted to see it after, or before I started this video. I wanted to see where Matt Norwood was, but I don't think as a pure passer, I don't think he ever reached those heights. So Ross Chester is a pure just pocket quarterback, really, really nice for this offense this year, despite what it's really felt like to watch all year long with the bad completion percentages and whatnot. And we also got to give a shout out to C.R. Madison for having a decent game in his first start as well. Here's a look at your Heisman votes, man. It's really gross. A player from San Diego State, 2 Northwestern players. I mean, just disgusting. This sim is just broken in every way. And we're going to get a bid to go play in the Emerald Bowl in San Francisco. I think that should be where the San Francisco Giants play, but I think in this game they couldn't get the rights or whatever, and so they just made a fake stadium for it. But either way, we're going to be playing Colorado State out of the Mountain West. We were finally ranked in the top 25 again, but we know what happens when they rank us in the top 25. Things typically go wrong. But hopefully we do win our 9th game of the year here and another bowl game. So hope to see you guys in the next one in the Emerald Bowl when we play the Colorado State Rams out of the Mountain West, looking for win number 9.